lunar probe samples from the unexplored far side of the Moon. The Moon is no longer just a lifeless rock floating in space. China's latest discoveries on its far side have confirmed something far more unsettling. Hidden beneath its surface are materials and structures we've never seen before, substances that challenge everything scientists thought they knew. But what does this mean for us? China's lunar exploration program. While NASA has been focused on Mars rovers and space telescopes, China has been quietly building the most ambitious lunar exploration program since Apollo. Their Chang'e missions, named after the Chinese moon goddess, have been systematically exploring the Moon step by step. Each mission builds on the last with incredible precision. Chang'e 1 and 2 were orbiters, mapping the entire lunar surface in unprecedented detail. Chang'e 3 landed on the near side in 2013, becoming the first spacecraft to touch down on the Moon since 1976. But things got really interesting with Chang'e 4 in January 2019, when China did something no country had ever achieved before, landing on the far side of the Moon. This wasn't just a cool achievement for the history books. Landing on the far side is incredibly difficult because you can't communicate directly with Earth. The entire bulk of the Moon blocks radio signals. China solved this by first deploying a relay satellite at a special gravitational point beyond the Moon, creating a communications bridge that allowed their rover to explore territory humans have never seen up close. The Yutu-2 rover has now been exploring the von Karman crater within the massive South Pole Aitken Basin for over 5 years, far exceeding its planned 3-month mission. It's still sending back data that's forcing scientists to rethink everything they thought they knew about lunar geology. But China didn't stop there. Chang'e 5 marked another milestone in 2020, bringing back the first lunar samples to Earth since the Soviet lunar missions of the 1970s. Unlike the Apollo samples, which all came from similar regions on the near side, Chang'e 5 targeted younger volcanic areas, giving us an entirely new window into the Moon's history. Most recently, in 2024, Chang'e 6 accomplished another historic first, returning samples from the far side of the Moon. These samples are currently being analyzed in labs across China, with early results suggesting they contain materials fundamentally different from anything the Apollo missions ever found. What makes China's approach so effective is its methodical, long-term vision. Each mission builds capabilities for the next phase. They're not just planting flags, they're mapping resources, testing technologies for using those resources, and laying the groundwork for what they call the International Lunar Research Station, a permanent Moon base planned for completion before 2035. This isn't some distant fantasy. The blueprints are drawn, the technology is being tested, and the timeline is advancing with remarkable consistency. While NASA's Artemis program has faced delays and budget constraints, China is executing its lunar strategy with precision and purpose. The gel-like substance. One of the first truly bizarre findings came in 2019 when the Yutu-2 rover was exploring inside a small impact crater on the lunar far side. The rover's cameras spotted something that immediately caught the attention of mission controllers back on Earth, a strange, shiny substance that looked completely different from the surrounding lunar dust and rocks. Chinese scientists initially described it as a gel-like material with an unusual luster. The substance had a greenish tint and reflected light differently than anything else on the Moon's surface. This immediately set off speculation worldwide. Some wondered if it could be some kind of melted glass from meteor impacts. Others suggested it might be volcanic material. Some internet commenters even wondered if it could be evidence of biological material, though scientists quickly dismissed that idea. After careful analysis using the rover spectrometers, researchers determined it was likely what's called impact melt breccia, essentially, a dark, glassy substance created when the tremendous heat and pressure of a meteorite impact melts and fuses lunar soil and rock fragments together. Think of it like nature's version of melting different rocks together in a cosmic furnace, then rapidly cooling them into a glassy solid. But here's where things get weird. A patch measuring about 20 inches x 6 inches showed properties that suggest recent, or much more complex, melting processes than scientists expected to find on the far side of the Moon. The surface structure and visual characteristics didn't match what our models predicted for how such materials form and age in that environment. What's particularly strange is that this substance was found in a region where such recent melting shouldn't occur. The far side's crust is thicker, with fewer heat-producing radioactive elements. So what exactly caused this unusual formation? And why does it appear so much fresher than its surroundings? Whatever created it seems to have happened much more recently than the billions of years would expect, raising questions about what active processes might still be occurring on the side of the Moon we never see from Earth. Mysterious glass spheres. If finding weird gel-like substances wasn't strange enough, what U-2 discovered next took lunar mysteries to another level. As the rover continued exploring the lunar far side, it encountered something that looked like it came straight out of a science fiction movie: translucent glass spheres scattered across the surface, glistening against the dusty lunar landscape. These weren't microscopic particles or tiny fragments. These glass globules measured between half an inch to almost an inch in diameter, dramatically larger than any of the tiny glass beads Apollo astronauts found during their missions. Nothing of this size or clarity had ever been documented on the Moon before. Scientists have proposed two main theories for how these perfect spheres formed. They might have been created during extreme pressure meteoroid impacts, when the violent collision melted anorthosite rock that then cooled into these perfect spheres. They could be remnants of ancient volcanic activity, frozen droplets from lunar fire fountains that erupted billions of years ago, similar to the way lava can spray into the air during volcanic eruptions on Earth, only to cool and solidify as it falls back to the surface. But there's something deeply unsettling about these glass orbs. Their remarkable size, perfect spherical shape, and unusual translucency don't align with our current understanding of lunar geology. The energy required to create glass structures this large and pure would be immense, beyond what typical meteorite impacts should generate. Even more puzzling is their distribution pattern. These aren't randomly scattered anomalies. They appear to follow specific geometric arrangements that hint at some kind of underlying structure or process we haven't identified. Could they point to unexplored dynamics beneath the lunar surface? Pressure systems we don't yet understand? Or something even more exotic that current scientific models can't explain? Whatever created these perfect glass spheres challenges everything we thought we knew about the Moon's geological history, and raises fascinating questions about what other anomalies might be hiding on the far side. These gleaming orbs, untouched for potentially billions of years, might hold clues to lunar processes we've never imagined. The South Pole Aitken Basin and mantle materials. To understand why China's discoveries are so groundbreaking, we need to appreciate exactly where they've been exploring. The Chang'e 4 and Chang'e 6 missions specifically targeted the South Pole Aitken Basin, and it's not just any old crater. This basin is an absolute monster, spanning 1,600 miles across the Moon's far side. It's one of the largest impact craters in our entire solar system. Scientists believe